All right, good evening, everybody. This is Martin here. I hope my audio is coming you good, loud, and clear. As well, this is one of the usual Wednesday night talk that we're doing, and definitely we are continuing more of the traditional way of really sharing our education and outlook as well as what we think is likely to happen with the market currently as it is. So a good evening and welcome to all of you. Hope you all had a good rest, and we will be embarking to another interesting talk that we have for tonight. Now, it's always good to know that as much as what I've seen in the market, many people would have not been in the market right now. So we just want to, interested to see whether that later on when the market will have some sort of stimulus or some sort of up ticket move, then we'll see more public coming in, and that will be kind of usual. And if the market's not wake up, I think it's also good for those of you who, like our members and also some of our fellow public, have been following, and that's really would be the right area to be. Get in before the major crowd is. So let's get on to tonight's talk. Now, welcome to everybody. This is your host here, Martin Wong, and good evening to Nora. Thank you for your support. It's always great to see a familiar faces and a familiar name out there. And tonight we'll be exploring the topic: is the stock market, our KLCI Bursa, ready to soar beyond its previous peak? And of course, previously, even last week, as of 1st of November, I was talking that they do have this resistance at the 1470, right? The 1470 seems to be the uptight resistance that we have. And subsequently, we did hit it, right on the spot. And many of our KLCI and Bursa really follow a lot of our technical analysis, especially more so when we use the volume spread analysis. So tonight is no different from it. We'll be examining the market through the likes and dislike of what we have seen in the market. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the stocks that have done pretty well, and we also look at some other stocks that may have come into your mind. So let's go on to what we have for the agenda tonight. Now, tonight we're going to have a sort of a news roundup. What's really looking into where we see the transition of the news from being bearish right in September and then now slightly turning to the bullish. And also, I feel that the market did not do what it's supposed to do, which is need to wake up everybody, because more people are still in the bearish stage and also like to short in the market. Now, it's possible that the market may turn downwards, but the evidence that I've seen before are looking into more of the upside. And why tonight I want to present my case is why the November rally is really happening right now. We are still on the 8th of November, still early, and why KLCI can go higher. And we're also going to be looking at some of the past stock trade idea review that we have last week. So that's going to be interesting looking at where are the next opportunity are. So let's take a look at if the announcement. Yes, we do have an announcement. There will be a surprise 11/11 flash sale, so keep in mind and stay tuned for more information coming soon. So this is a flash sales that we'll be doing on the 11th. Now, looking at last week, the 1st of November, we will be bombarded with a lot of news review. This is definitely one of them, were the so-called the conflict that we see in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas, and China wasn't into it, and all of a sudden things started to turn around when we have on the 2nd of November. Now, we all know what 2nd November was, right? The 2nd of November was the US Fed's meeting, and they managed to retain the interest rate at the 5.25, 5.5. So the FOMC, led by Jerome Powell, keep the interest rate unchanged at a 22-year high. Now, that has sort of sparks the first of the predicted or more forecast for the November. Okay, I'm just going to write it here for the November 2023 uprise, okay, in this market. So this is where you see the uprise, and the market started to push up and willing to go higher from here. Now, if you look into it, this is also from our partner usmart.com, something I'll talk about, especially those of you who are interested in opening the US market, right? I will give you some information that you can use to really look into and diversify, right, into this market, which is to me has been one of the so-called savior, right? So the US Federal Reserve, and this is by Jerome Powell, and he said that the Fed economy is been upgraded to a very strong third quarter, right? A very strong quarter from a solid September. So a lot of the talks that people were talking about, hey, recession, and I remember, okay, let me just make sure I got it, spell recession right. And I did talk about this recession, which is the hope. Remember the hope framework, okay, which I did share with the members, which we were talking about the housing, right? New order, right? This is profit, and last was unemployment. Now, in order to get this recession here, you need to have all these three things. I apologize, I wrote on the writing behind my head here, but let me just explain the E. The concern is the E here is unemployment. Now, if the unemployment goes straight up like what we saw in 2020, okay, unemployment shoots up, right? That's where we have the recession, which was actually caused by the COVID, right? COVID-19, right? During the MCO lockdown, we all know what has happened at that time. So with that, then there was really a recession in here. But now we don't have any of this. As a matter of fact, the Federal Reserve, led by Jerome Powell, said that the US economy is very, very strong, better now than from. And as such, the immediately, I would say, 2nd of November, this was where the market started. And then we have this big sell-off. Now, the US dollar and ringgit, the Malaysian ringgit actually strengthened, all right? So that is why I've been saying since early of year, the US dollar influence on our ringgit got nothing to do so much on our economy. Our economy is so small, and it's so kuchi right only, right? And because there's no more rate hikes, trader dumped the US dollar, and as a result, the ringgit actually strengthened as a result in here. But if you look from the year to date, if you look from a year to date, this is from January, okay, 2023 to now, right, just behind my head here, you will also notice the year to date ringgit has depreciated minus 6.6%. Now this is year to date. You can see here it's about 6.6%. This area here. All right. So this is some of the features, those of you, especially our members who have the trade VSA and probably see this. Now against the Sing dollar, it is has depreciated 5.5%. All right. So this is two of the currency that Malaysia in terms of ringgit has really failed. So of course, what has caused this, you can see the series of the event from the US Federal Reserve post the interest rate. You can see the coinciding ringgit really strengthened. Now don't be overly overjoyed. You can see that the strength of it is still uptrend, okay, which means this temporary movement here is just temporary. Longer term, ringgit is still gonna go higher. In terms of what I mean is the US dollar, right? So be warned, as I said before, we may see 5.0, okay, ringgit to 1 US dollar, right? Not this year, depending next year how strong is the our economy, right? And also the removal of the subsidy, which I've been observing very, very closely in right now as our MITI chairperson Rafizi been talking about implementing the different stages. Now the tone on the Malaysia, now the next keyword we're going to talk about is merging markets. Now this is a piece of news that came out 8th of November, which is the what's been people talking about it. So you can see from here that foreign funds seems to be moving into risky asset right now, emerging markets, equity, including those of Malaysia. Now remember last week I spoke about this. Remember, buy when it's undervalued, Nikkei 225. Okay, so you can see from here the emerging markets, you can see here, are very, very favorable. When it's green color, it means it's cheap. So you can see dividend yield is very good. PE 11 times is very cheap. So Malaysia fall under that. Okay, it's very cheap. So that's why those fund manager, going back to this note, are looking into Malaysia, because I'm trying to give the reason. Many of you at least will know why foreign funds is coming in, tying in into the valuation of the country, and what are the sectors we should be looking. So that's how I want many of our members as well as our listener in here to understand what is at stake here. So you can see Nikkei. Remember we talk about Nikkei, which is the Japan market, also green color. You can see also very cheap. Very cheap. This one are dark green, even more cheaper. But right now emerging market, so Malaysia fall under here. So very good. Very good. Okay. US one also very good, but US not that so-called cheap lah. So you know lah, when foreign funds they masuk sikit foreign fund here, they will divide a bit. Emerging market. Then emerging market got banyak, no? You got Thailand. Okay, you got Indonesia. Then you got Malaysia. Okay, usually Singapore don't fall under here lah. Then you got Cambodia, and then you got Laos also. And not to forget the big emerging market, which is Vietnam. Okay, so they will spread out. So when they come here, they put sikit sini. So here maybe they put 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. Langsung tak cukup. So spread out a bit already. 1/6. That's how they normally do. They spread it out and then they'll come into it. So if you look back in the Nikkei, which I've talked about last week on the 1st of November, which is up to date is up 21%. And you'll remember this? This was a chart I showed earlier on. It will retest the 200-day moving average. This was last week, November, for the next November rally upgrade, which is this week. So if you look at very closely right now, this is where we are. It bounced here, right? And then shoot back up straight and then turn green pentagon. As what I predicted, okay? Okay, as what Pentagon Guidance predicted lah. You can see this is the 200-day moving average. Okay, bounce off and then you have a nice, what we call also double bottom. Okay, so you have this double bottom, you got some sign of strength, SOS, which is a really good thing, and then market bounce out. Of course now it already have overtake this, so here's a form. Now remember, market usually goes up like that, right? Bounce, goes up and something do like that, and then either next one here, see whether how much can it go up from here onwards. That is what we are looking at for the Nikkei 225, right? So yes, it did bounce off in here. Now also at the same time, I told many of the members, first of all, is to avoid the stock market, right? Right now we have huge market overflow, but that may change. Just follow me in the next few slides as I'll talk about what is going to be happening in the coming weeks. So we avoided the China stock market, but we told everybody to focus on the Bursa KLCI. And that was when the market, I said that, at this point, right, if you follow me in the breakfast show, it can go up or it can come down. At this juncture, when the market started to break down, it has to test back this. But instead, because of the interest rate cut, right, you can see the market actually went up and up by 22 point. No, this is also due to the Fed chairperson, US Federal Reserve, okay, and stating no more rates hike, okay, for 2023. But then we have to wait until January whether we'll see some sort of rate hikes or not. So with that, the market went up 22 points, and of course you can see here and here, which is the 1470 resistance. Okay, so 1740, the market will come back down and then ding dong again, just like what I've said before. If I go back to the previous chart here, right, it will do something like that again. Okay, so this is the schematic things that we learned in the VSA. All right, it's a Wyckoff schematic, and very similar in here. You can see we have a triple top. Okay, market will pull back, and we just have to see what's going to happen in here. Of course, when I pull back, we need to see one more. This will be a blue candle. Okay, if this is a blue candle, then we'll see more upside in the coming days. So take note of that, just like what I will explain for the Nikkei 225. Nikkei 225. So no rates hike, the market's likely to go higher. And our focus is on the Bursa KLCI, up 22 points. Now again, I want to take you back to a few talks that I did, and of course, if you want to follow me again, some of the things I talk about, you can go over to the YouTube channel, YouTube at youtube.com/tradevsa.com, and look back at some of the US market, which I talk about the October and November month, which is bullish. Now this is riding on the November and April. You will see the November, April, which is a black line. These are all positive. This one is negative return. Okay, positive return, negative return. And you can see May to October generally, and in Malaysia respective here, this is Malaysia. Okay, and then the next one is mana? US. All right, Malaysia will, if you look back from 2005, it actually has almost something like a plus 7%. Okay, for the November to April month. But for our context, Malaysia, I only noticed after Chinese New Year, tada lagi. So no Chinese New Year rally, got Christmas rally. So later on I'll share with you. And then you're going to have a very small, still a very small upside, because most of the time the market move. But do take note, from 2015 onwards, okay, to 2023, our KLCI market didn't go anywhere. We were just sideways, okay, or losing. Right, like many other else, we're just losing in 2015, 2023. But I just want to paint the background that usually when we look at the November month to April is bullish time period. So, but for the context of a KLCI, we'll just be focusing to November to January, right? So if this is November 2023, we'll focus on 2024, which is the next continuous 3 months again. And I said before, that's why I do hope that those of you who are listening right now, you want to be playing on this, because this thing is happening again and again. I've been in this stock market long enough, even going back to 2003, right? 20 over years, I see this in and out again. So you got to bet your thing. Now, if you look at the VSA 360, which many of our members, as well as those of you who are looking to be a member of our VSA 360, check out the 11/11 sales, which is about to come. So if you look from here, we have the October month, which I've said before. September, very consistent, lose money one. Every September, lost money one. You can see this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 months, right? Losing months. So we got 1, 2, 3, and I think for the December it's going to be a good month in here. So right now you can see we are minus 1.86. We have moved back, and I would think we will cross on to the positive. Finally, for a year, we might just see positive. And one of the reasons why I see this is a couple of few reasons, which I want to share with you later down the road here. All right, just take note, just keep in mind here. So let's review the last 5 year of the year-end rally, November to January 2025. Okay, now if you go back to 2020, the November, this is November, right? November, you can see right bottom in here, the market goes up. Just like now the market hit here, right, in October. This is 2023, right? Okay, hit the low here, right? And then bounce back up. You can see it hit top here. This one is last year. Last year, this is where what was that? Prime Minister, 10, which is Anwar lah. Okay, sudah 1 tahun ya. He was a 10 Prime Minister. Market shot up, and then guess what? Profit taking, the market come back down, okay, until February. So it was up from here, this standpoint up, and then after here onwards, 2023, the market come back down already, right? So you can see, that's why in the Malaysian context, it's November to January. Remember, okay, Nora, remember, November to January only. After January, sudah mau mati. So for our members, those of you who are listening, if you think I'm doing a good job sharing you this information, give me a thumbs up, okay? At least I do know that some of the research work that is done by my team and also narrated by me bringing in here will give you the information that will allows you to be profitable in the coming months. So this is coming into January 2024. Okay, we're looking into January 2024. All right, thank you, Nora. Okay, so now we look back to 2021. 2021, you can see the market came down, okay, because it was up in October. So if October is up, then November you'll come back down. See, November here came back down, and it sort of stabilized in mid-December. Okay, and then green pentagon. So take note of the green pentagon when you're looking into the Smart Robi, or if you're using the VSA 360 on that matter, then you turn back, then back to January, it'll come back down. So that's why we really have to, be ready. And then February, because it goes into a down, and this is a very nice one. I said before, market generally goes out like that. But after February, right, next year, you'll surely come down one, right? But there may be an exception to it. All right, this is a KLCI market. But for the US market, because we have the US presidential election next year, which starts February, where you will probably see the big contender, Donald Trump and the current President Biden, belt it out. And generally, the presidential pre-election years will be very, very bullish. Okay, so you can see from here. Now then we go back to 2020. You can see, right, November bottom up. 2020 is very similar to where we are getting, and you can see the market rises here, right, 1475 all the way to here. Okay, that was on the MCO year lah, MCO year. Okay, lockdown year, and then always tapered off. You can see here, January tape off again. Next year one. 2019 is slightly different. Sorry, 2019. Okay, 2019 you have a sideways market. Okay, 2019 you have a sideways market. You see that, right? 2019 aside. This is before COVID lah, where that time you were very high, 1600. So the market could not go higher. That time also we have a lot of Chinese investment coming in, a lot of infrastructure. Market moves sideways, but that's where we were, 1620. So currently our market is 1470. Okay, the best it can do is probably just going to retest back 1500. All right, so many analysts will have their own, which is actually 1520 back in 2019. Okay, say 2019 1520. So if you go back 2020, what is the low? 1475, right? 2020, that's where we are lah. High, I don't think you're going to go up to 1675. Okay, you go back one more year. Low was 1480, also here lah. So you can say 1480. Okay, this was the lowest because you have the market actually sell off here. 140, the market recover back. So you can see 1470, 1480, and 1460. So we are already here. So the best we could do is just probably go up to 1500 here, which is this point. ANWR came in at this time, right? So ANWR policies that is set up by the budget this year, including the petrol and subsidy rationalization, which will kick in next year. So next year is going to be a very tough year for many of us who have big car because no more fuel subsidy, or reduce our fuel subsidy depending on your income level and also your decoration of your household expenditure and things like that. So that will be something interesting as the market go on. I will intend to narrate more of this. Okay, so we done that one. So give you a good mark. So in short, if you notice that out of the last 5 years, the November to January month, 3 out of 5 years, it rises. It rises 3 out of 2 out of 5 years sideways. Okay, so that simply means that the market's not too bad. November to January, February, that kind of time frame, generally are positive on this side. And I do think that based on that premise too, this market has some room to go up for the KLCI. Okay, now again on today's news, usually I will read today's news from StarBiz. So for those of you who want to read some of these news I talk about here, feel free to subscribe to the Trade VSA newsletter, which send out every day. Some of the news, when I see it, I tie it back to the Trade VSA. So that's again one beneficial to you if you can really want to follow it. It's a daily newsletter that I read, and I also want to share with you where this market. So on this side, we are talking about merging markets. So the catalyst is the merging market and the inflows, all right, and also the cheap valuation. So the keywords is cheap valuation, foreign funds, EM, all right. So with that in mind, the 3+ takeaway why the KLCI is favor heavily right now in this November. Number one, all right, merging markets. Okay, so I sort of summarize for you is a cheap valuation, which is right now for the emerging market is about 11 times. I do think Malaysia one is around PE is between 13 to 14 times. That's for the Malaysia. Next is that foreign funds has already left our market, so they can only come in right now. Okay, so foreign funds have been leaving. They started to come back in already. Okay, and because US dollar is 4.7, right, 4.8, so they'll get their bigger bucks, so they can convert more to ringgit. Okay, they'll convert more to ringgit and then come back and buy this market here. Okay, the slide moves too fast for me, so I need to go back. And then third one is that also we see the resumption of major construction. Okay, now we also have the Penang master plan that you're aware of this, right? So you can see some of the last week trade idea, the construction sector that did pretty well, as I said before earlier on that one. So those are the, let me just move back to this. Now, banging on the same spot, the major construction, the Penang master plan, then we have the HSR resumption, and also the November to January, okay, 2024 will usually be a rally. We call it the Christmas rally, no Chinese New Year rally anymore, okay? So keep that in mind. Then one of the things that Gamuda has gone up a lot already. So one of the things you will notice last week, 1st of November, and this week, the market is ready to move sideways, accumulating in here. I think at one point in time, we'll start to break out as more projects have been talked about. Right now, it's unchanged in here. Okay, one of the technical background certificate is Green Pentagon, started here. It's in the stage 2. Okay, stage 2, what we call markup. Okay, and there are a lot of sign of strength here. You can see sign of strength here, and there's some this is no supply. No supply is one of the trademark that Zach actually like. Okay, the other one is it's moving faster than I am. Okay, next one is 1st of November. We saw, I was talking about the Green Pentagon, if you all noticed, right? And then there was 2-bar reversal here. Reverse back to the upside. Usually when you get this, market will generally go up. Okay, these are, you can see we got spring here, line change, spring. So there are 3 SOS. These are very, very strong sign of strength in here. And by all means, see the market then just gone straight up. Okay, so when the market moved up, it went up by 4.7%. Okay, went up by 4.7%. So the next stock we have is Kejaya. Now Kejaya has a double top here. Okay, double top. But what's good, you got test, you got another test. It's holding up a nice support in here. All right, and you can see this is in a nice stage 2 markup. And also you have NS, no supply. A lot of tests here. That actually denotes the strength. And lo and behold, you can see eventually the market took out the double top here, right? And you can see this straight up, and Kejaya went up 9.3% from last week, 1st of November. This is the 8th of November, from 1st of November right? 9.3%, a very good one in here. So again, similar story in here. The green pentagon, the stage 2 markup, and the sign of strength here. Sign of strength. So our VSA Pentagon Guided Stock Screener, those of you familiar, I've talked about the VSA Turbo Trading, right? Some of the stocks pick that we have, and we have done extensive back testing. So we can share with you those really good price range here is the 49 to 69 to 1 ringgit. You can see even every year, the big bonus here was 2020, right? And 2021. But even as of last year, okay, 2022, we are still able to make it in here. So I highly recommend all our members as well as the public to look into the penny share. If you have not become our VSA 360 member, you might want to consider our 1111 sales, a very good deal. So make sure you stop and make sure you keep an eye on it and become one of our member in here and find out more about how VSA Turbo Trading can help you. Now, through our VSA Turbo Trading, you start off, these are hypothetical, as I said before. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future. But if you started out at going back to 5 years with a 50K, after 2029, right, you can see here, right, 2029, then 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. Depending on your price range, you can see here, this is 2 ringgit. Price range means you trade those stocks above 2 ringgit, but the best one is still those above 69 cents. This two here is 1 ringgit, and blue is 49 cents. So that's why I tell the members in here, whenever I pick some of those stocks, if you wanted to gain more, that's the one you want to be focusing here. Okay. My slide seems to be there. So for our members training, which is the 7th of April, which is still ongoing to 2024, right? We started that in September. Now it's coming in November. This is a chance for you, those of you who are budget type. Remember, we have our flash sale 1111, and then you can take advantage and become our member for VSA 360 in here and be like our member. Of course, all this doesn't come like sky drop out. You still need to be work smart, right? Work within our training in here, follow some of the rules that we have in here, and then let's see whether if we're going to get a nice rally, the November, the December, and the January. Perhaps if we stretch a bit to February, I don't see why the next 6 months will be a very, very interesting result for those of you to be a member. And thanks to the 1111 sales. Okay, now let's go into the US market again. Now in the US market, on the 23rd of September, I did share some of the US stock trader. I still haven't deviated much from it because these are the big tech stocks, and many of you know it like XOM, Visa, which is also a technology and fintech, and of course Microsoft is the generative AI, and Apple, I said wait for green pentagon. So if you look into the market right now, this is Exxon. So I'm just going to bring up my stocks here, right? You can see, switch on to, on the right hand side of the stocks, XOM. So you can see XOM in the market actually gaps down because of the interest rate. Interest rate that is also all prices drop. If I just show you all prices, CL. So when crude prices all drop, you can see touching now. This is after the war Even when we say it's a war, right? Crude oil prices supposed to go up, but I do think that now the focus has shifted into the no interest rate hike. People are moving away into the technology stocks. So that's why we got ExxonMobil. I think there will be some sort of basis to stay here. All cannot go down too low. Right now it's at about $76 US in here. It was at 1.93. Remember, the October 6th was the start of the conflict. October 6th. You can see October 9 went up only and then pass it down. So sometimes it's interesting to see not all things reflect what it is, you see. All right, now if you look at ExxonMobil, then the next in our list we were talking about is Apple. Now if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, feel free to pencil it on the left hand side. I'm happy to look into that for you. And so let's look at the market. So we'll look one at Apple. So Apple has turned green Pentagon, okay, and you can see from here, turn green Pentagon on the 1st of November. Okay, nice one in here. And since turning green Pentagon, right, you will see this market has gone up, depending here, it's gone up by 6.7%. All right, 6.7% here has shown this market has a bit more room to go. The market might pull back a bit more, but let's wait and see how would the market react right now. Okay. Okay, so this is how the market is right now. Since then, the market has started to push up, right? We have a double top here, right? Will Apple stocks pull back a bit? So that's why I told everybody 1st of November, watch out for the green Pentagon. It dipped below in here, right? And then the market tests back out. So let's take a look at the next one is MSFT. MSFT, which is Microsoft. And you can see Microsoft really took forward and push up a lot more. It had green Pentagon from here. And if you have followed the green Pentagon, if I just drag here, so it pays dividend to follow the green Pentagon. From here to here is a 14%. 14% gain. 14% gain. And don't forget, you also gain on the US dollar. Okay, so that's why you want to be focusing a lot more of in this market. And what is the other one I have? Okay, Visa. Okay, let's take a look at Visa. We all know Visa, what they do. Switch to here, and then Visa here. And Visa also turned green Pentagon. And you notice Visa also broken to the old high here, bounce off the double bottom on the 200-day moving average, right? Lots of strength coming in, line change, another test. Let's see if this thing can take off some more. If it can take off, then I do see likelihood Apple will also take off. You can see Microsoft already taken out, right? Not all, the semiconductors are actually lagging behind. You can see TSM. Okay, yep, we got some here. Intel for Jeff. Sure, let's take a look at it. Right? So TSM is coming back. You can see, I think eventually it's going to come up. Intel. Now Intel is going into the artificial thing that started to pick up very nicely. So you can see green Pentagon in here. This is coming up from a low base, right? I think if you do break above the 38, it's going to run up more. Right? Palantir, PLTR. Palantir Technology, it gaps up in here. But because of the big gap that it hits, it's slightly going to be pulled back a bit. Now take note, you can notice that here, the volume here is very climatic. Here, this volume is very climatic. Usually climatic volume market will pull back a bit. So Palantir here, good one, Jeff. Anybody want me to look at? So we got PCSS, sure, PCCS. That's a Malaysian stock. Yeah, this Malaysian stock, this one is 42 cents. Again, very climatic, 12%. So tomorrow, show profit taking one. The market will gap down here. And usually, if you have gone in earlier, like here, around this price, time to jump it because market's going to pull back a bit more in here. Any other stocks you want me to look at? Else we just continue on with the remaining, right? So those are good one. And I think, of course, there are a lot more. Next thing we're going to do, we will be reviewing our Pentagon Guider. So back to the overall picture, just want to paint the picture so you can understand better why the stocks are doing what it's doing, right? The oil and gas, like it or not, will still stay there. No doubt for the time being, it's showing some weakness, right? Let's look at gold. You can see gold also pulled back from 2000. 2000 always been this so-called resistance in here. Now we look back on October 6th. Right? The market is actually going down, but when the war came out, the thing just bounced back off again. So right now with the ongoing conflict, I think that gold will sustain around here, probably test back around 1,900 level in here. All right, we got PBA also, right? PBA. Oh, PBA. This one is PBA is a Malaysian stock. Yeah. So PBA, Wow, this one went up too much at 36%. But you see here, Green Pentagon, I buy at 82 cents. This one probably win some project. Tomorrow, show come back down one, okay? Unless there's some news that they got some project or whatever case. I think PBA is Penang water one. So it's always reacting on news. But yeah, but no point buying this kind of stocks. Usually you want to buy when the Green Pentagon here. Then of course, how many of you will buy? That's why I say same thing like Apple also. Okay, good one. Okay, any other stocks? Just let me know. Okay. Then the next thing is they watch out for the US corporate earnings. And so far, some of the results coming out has been very, very good. Not all are good. I think more than 50% are good. So that is why sustaining this rally in here. The technology sectors are sideways, okay, because of the chip crackdown. But now that has changed because why the Fed has done with the rate hike for year 2023. So that's why you see the technology started to move up. And also the Biden and presidency are meeting in San Francisco this next week, November. So we have to see what is the outlook of the meeting that they have and the tension, whether it's going to be a tension one or a friendly meeting. That is going to add fuel into the market what we have. So we already have a very nice base as this market is moving up higher. So let's see what's happening here. So that's why it's important to understand the background, the market outlook. So when you buy some of these stocks, you will know behind. And of course, this is coming all sponsored by Trade VSA. So support us. Thank you for supporting us through our Trade VSA, Smart Robi, and also the VSA 360. Now on the VSA 360 US demo site, so I'm just going to bring up the US sector here, right? You will also notice a lot of the stocks has already turned Green Pentagon. XLK is the technology, and guess what? It's only been Green Pentagon for 6 days only. So you can turn on here, right? So if you have VSA 360, of course, here's a hint, 11 sales, okay? You can see from here, 6 days up. It's going to be testing back this old high here. Let's see how much it can run. XLK, XLV, okay? Also turn, but it's still in the downtrend in here. But I'll put my heads more on the consumer. It's been up 21 days. You can see nice base, right? Double bottom, right? A very good one of these is consumer, which normally do well in inflation. So XLP, which is your sector, consumer staple sectors. So keep a watch on those two in here. So the bull in US market just starting, just starting. Only 6 days only for the technology. Some of these 6 days or so, 6 days. Some of these are 5 days only. Let's see how far. Now on our US Nasdaq Pentagon Guider, right? If you have this, let me just share with you how to use this. So once you log in, you go to the screener and we'll pick up some stocks that we can able to act on it, Pentagon Guider. So we just switch over to the Nasdaq and we go over to the 7, not 8. So the 7, and again now we use the minus 0.5, which is the VSA Pony Express, something I'll teach with the members already. And then all of a sudden you switch on to the turnover, you get Google and Lululemon. Upworks and Wave. So these are some of the pretty good stocks, famous one in here. And you can see I only got 10 only out of 22. So we can look at Google. Okay, so once you have that, you can always check it out every night. So Google just turned Green Pentagon. Yep, semalam saja. There you go. So you can see Google again, another player in the AI also. So I think good, got some chance to it go up. Microsoft already lari already, I show you just now, right? And the other one, I think some people ask me about food, McDonald's, because McDonald's is the cheapest food around, but it's getting more expensive right now. You can see McDonald's is still below the 200-day moving average here, right? It's still some room, but it's coming off a very low base here, okay? And used to be around 295. I think with the improving of the inflation rate, maybe well under control, stocks like McDonald's will also do well. Lululemon expensive outfit range, correct. There was an article I came across on YouTube saying that their profit margins are better than Nike and Under Armour. All right. So Lululemon, you can check out Lululemon. Then Nasdaq in here, $400. My goodness, you can see that, right? Being in the uptrend, nice, zigzag, 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 but stay above the 200-day moving average. Okay, and if it now 414, the Lululemon, good, Nora. All right, you done your homework. So all right, so do take note. Every Monday and Friday, okay, we'll be doing our live breakfast show. You can follow me more of the education thing. It's just on Wednesday, I'll do a little bit more on the macro side here, and on Friday we will revert back to the VSA 360, and on Monday, the first and third and fifth Monday of the month, I'll be doing the Bursa, and second and fourth, I'll be doing the US Smart Robi. So those has been the format that what we have been doing in here right now. All right, don't forget, those of you who have the US side, wanted to trade the US market, our partnership with the USmart, so you can create an account there, go over there, and make sure you use the invitation code NYVJPA, and you will get 400 credit of Smart Robi. Because one of the reasons why is because we find that for myself, I have a TD Ameritrade under Think and Swim. I've transferred the share over. It's a very simple thing to do, and I think it benefited from the cheap commission, and they also have very good service. You can WhatsApp the group there, and there's a person really they attend to you in there. Let me know if you have some difficulty about the opening account with USmart to capitalize on the US market, which I do see and presented the picture for you so far. Right, 11/11 flash sales opportunity, which I've talked about in here for our intake 7 September to 7 of April, the next 6 months. Those of you, 11/11 sales, right? Don't forget, right? And finally, we come to our Telegram chat room. Do share this video in your timeline, and also in your friends sharing with you. Especially this video will present the case why we think the November rally is happening. And more importantly, I want many of you to have some sort of a teacher or guidance like myself. Else you'll be like this kuda, run to the end, but what happened? The rider is missing. Don't have the rider missing. Make sure the rider is with the horse, then you enjoy all the benefit. And for myself, to make sure you ride the horse well in here. All right, so that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to follow us at facebook.com at Martin TF Wong. And I do some of those stocks I talk about construction for the US. I think the big chip names will do well. And more on that on coming Friday, where I do the VSA 360 and look at some of the insider stocks that will benefit you for all. All right. Any stocks you want me to look, comments? Thank you for coming. And I really enjoy your time with you and your presence. And I'll be back on Friday. Breakfast show with VSA 360. Thank you again. Bye-bye.